You're very welcome here to this webinar. I'm really happy that you're here because it means that you're probably intending to enter our awards, one, hopefully, if not more categories, and you might have even started on your entry. So, particularly in this year where we've made a couple of changes to the awards entry process, it's great that you're on this call, and hopefully you'll get a few valuable tips from all of the different hints and tips that I have to go through just in the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. Um, on the agenda then, if you could hold any questions maybe until near the end of the presentation, there is a section at the top of the Teams window that says Q&A and you can drop them in there. So I'll not be checking that until the end and then we'll go through everything at that point. I'll get through as many as I can, and if we have any that we don't get time to go through, then I'll follow up with an email just with any questions that you have. Agenda-wise for today, I'll tell you a little bit about the awards and we'll talk about our categories, tell you just the basics of how to enter. I've got some good top tips for you, and we'll hear from some of our judges on great entries as well. I'll explain how the judging works. We'll quickly go through the key dates that you need to remember just in the time frame of the entry process, and I'll tell you a little bit about our gala event before we'll address the questions at the end of the session too. So our awards, this is our 19th year in 2024 of the Responsible Business Awards, and it's all about recognising businesses that go beyond profit to be a force for good in society. And obviously everybody loves to win an award or to be shortlisted for an award, but these ones in particular are very unique in that they celebrate all things responsible business. It's the only responsible business awards that are solely about the efforts to make Northern Ireland a better place to work and live. So it's giving you an opportunity to recognise your colleagues, to enhance the reputation of your organisation, and to position yourself as a leader in responsible business. So if you're committed to building a better workforce, a more diverse workforce, to contributing to a sustainable future or to helping biodiversity and nature to bloom, and you're supporting your local communities to thrive, there will be a category for you to enter. So I want you to take a look at all of them, and hopefully you'll have chosen one or two by the end of this session. Just a little quick stop by this nice picture of all of our awards sponsors and partners. Just want to say a big thank you to them for their leadership and support on the awards again this year. The team that you see here are responsible business champions, encouraging others on their responsible business journey as well. And we just could not do the awards without them. So a big thank you to everybody pictured, but in particular to Henry Brothers. They won the Responsible Company of the Year award in 2021. And from 2022 on, they've been our key sponsor for the last 3 years. And we've got a really good partnership with them, and we're very grateful to have their support. On to the categories then. 13 categories in 2024. Every single one of them is free to enter for organisations of all sizes and from all sectors. So most organisations can enter all categories, any of the categories that are listed here. There are two exceptions though. The NI Responsible Company of the Year category, which is our top award of the year, is only open to private sector companies that are members of Business in the Community Northern Ireland. And they also have to have achieved CORE, which is our standard for responsible business. So if you don't hold that, unfortunately, you can't enter this category. You can read a wee bit more about CORE on our website if you want to take a look there. The second category that has the caveat with it is our One to Watch award, and that's only for new members of Business in the Community that have joined the organisation since January 2022. And in that category, we're looking for the organisation that best demonstrates how it's made a significant progress in the development and implementation of its corporate responsibility strategy. The rest of them are up for grabs for you. I'm not gonna read through every category. You can take a look just on this slide here and go onto our website, which will give you a lot more detail on the description of the award and the criteria that we're looking for as well. But I did just want to make a few points around the categories. As I said, free to entry. You can enter as many categories as you like, so don't hold back. And just consider that your entry might be applicable to more than one category. So if you're thinking about your projects or initiatives that you want to profile through the awards entry that you're going to make, it could fit into more than one category. You don't have to be a member to enter any of the other categories, except for NI Responsible Company of the Year and One to Watch. And there is one nomination category in there too. The Responsible Business Ambassador Award is open to individual, it's open to everybody, but who can be nominated are individuals from any level within an organization. So if you know somebody that's made a significant contribution to responsible business practice within their organization, and within the wider business community, it's made a positive impact on the organization, the people, and the planet as well, then you can put them forward for that award. Just to flag two new categories in 2024, we've got the Nature and Biodiversity Award. Oh, we've actually got those mixed up there. It should be the Nature and Biodiversity Award is sponsored by Sony, and that's for the organisation that best demonstrates a significant commitment and contribution to improving biodiversity and the natural environment in Northern Ireland. And the Skills and Education Award, sponsored by Allen and Overy, is for the organisation that best demonstrates how its actions have helped inspire and support young people. So there's an age range on that between 4 and 19 years, and or people facing barriers to work to develop the skills they need to build a successful working life. Some of you who've been part of this awards process before might remember that we've run the education partnership category for a number of years. So this new skills and education category opens up that category out to recognise those working in the employability space as well. So do take the opportunity to have a look on our website for a bit more detailed criteria on both of these categories and the other ones as well. And this is the website. It's bitcni.org.uk/awards. We've got a whole hub there. You're going to find helpful information on all of the categories. There are 3 bubbles right at the top, which is the key information really for right now. The one that I'd recommend that you take a look at is our criteria and processes page, and that gives you everything, all the detail of the awards before actually going on to the entry platform. A very comprehensive overview of the categories. The questions will tell you how they're scored. We'll give you the word limits, and you can also see links to the winners' case studies from 2023 if you want to do a little bit of background research as well. We did make some changes to the entry process this year, which I'm guessing why there's quite a few of you on this webinar this morning, because you want to find out a wee bit more about that. All entries are still made on the Judgify platform, which hopefully you'll be familiar with. It's really intuitive entry platform, very simple. But we've made a few changes around the submission form, which has been reduced to 2 scored sections this year. So whereas in 2023 and before we had maybe 6 or 7 boxes where you needed to complete information, we've changed it into more of a narrative submission format. So actually there's just 2 scored boxes to complete, as well as 1 box which gives a bit of an overview of your organization, and that's unscored, and that is right before your entry really starts, just so that the judges can get a bit of a feel about your organization and what it does. So that background is unscored, but the other 2 are scored. So section 1 is an overview. It's where we ask you for an overview of the project or initiative that you're presenting to us, and there's 30 marks available in that. And we want you to cover the leadership, how have your senior leaders been involved in the project or initiative. We want you to talk about the strategy around it as well, how it relates to your business's wider goals and values, and what targets you've set around that as well. We want you to talk about the activities and processes. So what is it that made your initiative or project what it is, and what have you undertaken? What are the resources that are used, and what's the time scale of the project too? And we want to know a little bit more as well about how you manage, evaluate, and report on the project and its effectiveness. And we've got stakeholder engagement in the overview category. So who are you engaging in this project and how are you involving them? And lastly, we want to know a little bit about how you champion responsible business. So have you shared your project or initiative with a partner or with other organizations, or could you do this? And how might you go about that as well? Section 2 in the written entry is for the impact that you've made. 20 marks are available in this section where we want you to demonstrate the impact that you've made for the project or initiative. Tell us about how you've measured your success. Explain, and it's the section for giving evidence of how your project or initiative has benefited your business, wider society, and or the environment. So whatever relates to the category that you're entering, it might not be everything. It might not be business and society and the environment. It could be one or two of those or all three of them. But this section should definitely be supported by data. We want to see some data in there too about your impact. You can still upload images to help you present some of the information that you want to include too. We accept 5 images with JPEGs and PNGs. And also, I just wanted to flag 2 different categories. So whereas most of the categories are going to ask you to give an overview and an impact across the 2 sections, the 2 that are slightly different are the Responsible Business Ambassador category. That's the nomination one that I mentioned just slightly earlier, where we ask about leadership, impact, and advocacy, and it's a slightly shorter category. We also don't ask people who've been shortlisted in that category to come and present at the later stages of the judging panels either. It's a written entry and only a written entry. And then the second category that's slightly different is the NI Responsible Company of the Year category. So we're not asking about overview and impact, but we are asking about advocacy, legacy, and impact. Right, so getting started on your entry, once you've picked your category or the categories that you want to enter, I'd recommend that you talk to your colleagues who can help and talk to them now because sometimes it can take a bit of time just getting some of the evidence or the data or statistics that you need together that are really going to make your entry very compelling. So start in good time with anything. The deadline is the 26th of April at 5 p.m. I did mention earlier about considering whether your entry would fit in more than one category, but just to give you an example of that, say you wanted to present an initiative or a project that was all about community outreach, but it was about building green spaces within the community, you could have a look at the nature and biodiversity category and the impact in your community category. And the both of the boxes, the impact and the overview categories are going to be similar, but you'll just need to make some tweaks on those based on what we're asking for within the criteria of each of those categories. But the good thing is that the guts of your entry will be written for those. Consider the time period of your project or initiative. We're aware that actually a lot of really great initiatives and projects have been running for a number of years, but for them to be considered eligible for our categories, we want to see that elements of your project or initiative have taken place in 2023 and or 2024 and in Northern Ireland, as well as the Responsible Business Awards in Northern Ireland. So that's the time frame of the awards. And lastly, go on ahead and register on the Judgify platform. You can familiarize yourself with what it looks like. That's where we ask you to make your entries and where we send our judges to score them as well. And just to let you know that if you did register last year, that your login details are still going to work. But it means that if you're on that platform, we'll be able to just send you reminders of deadlines that are coming up. This just gives you a little bit of an insight into what that platform looks like. It's really intuitive. You can start your entry, save it, go back to it, edit it. You can submit it. Even if you've submitted it and you've decided that you wanted to add something else to it, you can unsubmit right up until the deadline at 5 p.m. on the 26th of April. And just a little reminder to save, hit the save button as you go along on that. So some top tips on making your written entry, which is worth 50% of the marks. Have a look at the description of the category and try and reflect the language that's in the category description. The judges will be using that against your category, and it just makes it easier for them to see how you've met the criteria. I do appreciate as well that there is a word limit, and it can be, when you've got so much to talk about, it's hard to stick to your word limits, and you might try and use acronyms to your advantage, but just be conscious that unless they're very obvious, try and explain what those are in your entries, or try to avoid using very company specific language unless you really need to. I've said there about explaining the obvious and bringing the key information up front. Think of it like a newspaper article. Draw in your judges with the key impacts and the key headlines and the key information, and then follow up your entry or back it all up with the detail. You're going to want to emphasize the positive impacts of your initiatives, obviously. Consider society, the environment, and to your company. So don't forget about telling us what the business benefits are of your responsible business initiatives and actions, and provide the data on that where you can. So for example, if you're entering the climate award or the nature award, you could say something like our climate positive initiative has brought a 20% decrease in energy costs. So it's good to see stats like that in the entries if you have those available too. And I'd mentioned there about being able to upload graphs and or images, sorry. Do use graphs where possible. It just makes it easier for the judges to award the information. Lastly, and this is something that we've seen in previous years, we're aware that people can prefer to actually complete their entry offline, so off the judging platform, and then copy it across onto the judging platform. And what we've noticed is that sometimes that just doesn't pull across quite right, and you might be missing a word or two at the end, or the format just shifts slightly. So leave a little bit of time as you approach the deadline just to have another check through your entry just to make sure that any copying and pasting is pulled across properly. So the judging side of things, it's 3 stages. It's really, really robust. We've got 39 judges on our team this year. The first stage is our initial shortlisting internally. So BITC leads go through all of the entries and we'll put the certain entries through to the finalist stage. No awards or no awards, no scores are awarded at this point. It's literally just for us to pass the submissions on to our judges, and that's when the scoring part of the awards actually begins. So we just decide who has been shortlisted. Stages 2 and 3 are very important, and they're the scored parts of the scoring process. If you're shortlisted at that first stage, you're going to go through to stages 2 and 3. The written submissions are scored on the Judgify platform. You don't need to do anything with that. Our judges are just given access and they'll go and read through all the entries and award their scores. Stage 3 is where we do need you. That's the judging panel interviews that are being run on the 25th and 26th of June this year. And that's where we bring you in front of our panel of 3 judges, where you get to present your entry, and then you'll have the opportunity to answer some questions from the judges as well. So the key dates around this are that we'll announce our shortlist on the 21st of May. That's when you'll know if you've gone through to the finalist stage. Written entries are then scored by the judges, and then the panel interviews are on the 25th and the 26th of June. And the judging panel interviews look like this. We will bring you in front of the judges. You've got 5 minutes to provide a verbal summary of your entry. No notes or PowerPoint presentations or anything like that need to be prepared. And then there's 15 minutes for questions after that. Our judges are lovely. Like, they want to get the best out of you as well. So it's an opportunity just for them to pick up on any gaps, and they're going to want to help you get as many points as you can. So think of it as an opportunity to just show the passion that you have for the work that you're doing, and to present it in a way that the judges know that you're doing really good work and you're really passionate about it too. Uh, the the whole judging interview stage takes half an hour. As a finalist, you'll only be in there for 20 minutes, 5 minutes for the summary and 15 minutes for the questions. We'll then ask you to leave the room, and then the judges will just make a few notes and write their scores and have a bit of time for discussion. So 20 minutes in and out. Just to flag there that I know that there's some of you on the call as well from some agencies. If you are filling in the application form on behalf of a client, that's who we'll send the invite for the panel interviews to, and all of the comms around. Maybe if say if you've been shortlisted, we're going to send you a comms pack so that you can present that to your followers on social media and share that internally as well. We'll send that to the email address that is registered on the Judgify platform, but we've also included a line in, or a box or a field in there where you can include the email address of a secondary person. So if you're entering from an organisation and you want to include your comms person in there so they get the comms pack, include that whenever you register and we'll send that out to both you and the other person that you've listed. Oh, just going to go back here. I've enlisted two judges to tell you a little bit more about what they really liked around their awards entries. So I'll just show you a little short video now.
Hi, my name is Lynn Savage Watson. I'm People Business Partner from Belfast Harbour. Last year I had the privilege of judging the Business in the Community Diversity Award. I was really impressed with the level of detail given within the submissions, particularly when we see meaningful results on how you bring your diversity journey to life. What really stands out for me as a judge is the passion, drive and determination shown by organisations to truly make a difference. Tell us about your results and the lasting impact that your diversity strategy is having on your people and your communities. I'm really excited to be judging the Diversity Award in 2024 and I wish you the best of luck with your submission.
Hi, my name is David Johnston. I'm a former head of diversity and inclusion. In 2023, I had the pleasure of being a judge on Business in the Community's Responsible Business Awards. In terms of submissions, what I look for is authenticity and a demonstrable commitment to service delivery. However, what sets really good submissions apart is not only evidencing what was done or how the approach differed from those peers within the industry or sector, but really evidencing the impact that was felt within the organisation, but also the outcomes that were delivered for the wider community. That's what I look for as a judge. I wish you every success with your submissions in 2024. Good luck.
Thanks to David and Lynn for that as well, and all of our judges, all 39 of them this year. It just so happened that the two judges that did this, that did the videos for me, are both from the D&I category, but the advice that they've given can be applied across all of the categories as well. Dates for your diary. There's no need really to write these down. They're all on our awards hub landing page. And if you're registered on the platform, then we'll just keep in touch with you about the deadlines that are approaching as well. But the closing date for entries is 5 p.m. on the 26th of April. It's not a platform that we have control over, so that it will just automatically close at that point with no extensions, unfortunately. The finalists are going to be announced on the 21st of May. To be recognised as a finalist is a really big deal. So we want you to share that accolade with everybody. So we'll send that comms pack through to you to communicate your success if you're successful at that stage of the process. Our judging panels are on the 25th and 26th of June in Belfast at the Innovation Factory. They're one of our in-kind sponsors, and it's a category per day, so we'll notify you about when your category is further down the line after our shortlists have been announced. And then everything will culminate with our awards gala event, which is at the ICC Belfast behind the Waterfront Hall on the 5th of September this year. It's a Thursday. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to ask you if you've got any questions, could you drop them into the Q&A section of Teams and I'll pick up on them. I see there's already one of them there. If you've got any other ones, just drop them in and I'll pick up on them. In the meantime, I'll just tell you a little bit about our gala event. I do hope you'll join us. It's always really inspirational, very heartwarming to hear about what businesses are doing to go beyond profit to be a force for good across Northern Ireland, and a really nice opportunity to network and meet other people that are working in the same area as you are as well. We have kept the prices the same as in 2023, so if tables are of 10 people, it's £1,400 for members of BITC, and if you're not a member, it's £1,500. You can pay by credit card or ask us to invoice you as well. All the info is on the BITC Awards hub page on our website. Okay, on to the questions. Okay, I've got one from Roy here. Can you upload reports to explain the project, or is it only photos and graphs that you can upload? The way that the platform is set up is that you're allowed to upload PNG or JPEG images. So the likes of a report that might be pages of a PDF, it just won't allow you to upload it. What you can do is save pages as images and upload those as separate, but obviously be aware that you're limited to 5. Also, I just wouldn't recommend that you upload whole reports. It's too much information for our judges. The word counts are there for a reason, and they're going to be basing the majority of their scoring on what is in your written entry. The graphs that might be part of your report are perfect for the likes of uploading to our platform, but entire reports, if you could just avoid those and take the key information out of those, that would be the ideal way to go about that. So hopefully that's answered your question. I've got one from Faith here. Can you upload content in the form of bullet points, or how should this be formatted? The platform allows you to upload in bullet points. So if that's the clearest way for you to present your information or your stats, work away. You can definitely upload them in bullet points. That's entirely up to you, or you can keep it in the more narrative written form as well. So you can lay that out whatever way you want. It's just it'll be the same word count, whatever way you decide to lay that out. I think that's all of them, unless you've got any more questions. Hopefully that's a sign that the webinar has been comprehensive enough. I'm always here to help. So I'd sent joining instructions to everybody. I think we'll follow up with an email after this anyway. So you'll have my email address. If there's anything else that you want to ask me about, that's no problem. All it remains for me to say is good luck with your entries. I know a few of you are on this webinar and maybe aren't members of Business in the Community. So if you want to chat to one of our team members about joining the Responsible Business Network, we would love to have you, and you're very welcome to contact me for more information or hop onto our website to have a look at that too. This session is recorded, so I know there were a couple of you that just joined a little bit later. If you want to catch the first part of it, I'll upload this and put it onto the awards hub as well, or you can get in touch. But all the best. Here's all our categories and dates. And all the best with your awards entry. I hope to see you on the 5th of September at our awards event. Good luck.